Welcome to this video. I want to talk to you about the 5 steps to take when you've been sued by a debt buyer. Somebody like Midland Funding, Midland Credit, LVNV, Portfolio, Unifund, Crown Asset, all these different debt collectors that file lawsuits. What are the 5 steps to take? Hey, I appreciate you watching this video. My name is John Watts. I'm a consumer protection lawyer in Alabama, and for many years I've defended well over 1,000 people sued by debt buyers. And I want to share with you this process so that you can think through, if you've been sued, what are the steps to take? What do you need to do so that you can make the right decision? Not for somebody else, but for you, the right decision for you. So step number 1, you must figure out your current location. Well, what in the world do I mean by that? Well, I was taking a recent trip to Tampa, Florida. So what direction do you go to get to Tampa? Well, it depends. Are you coming from Alabama? Are you coming from Miami, Florida, Orlando, Clearwater Beach? Where are you coming from? You have to know where you are now in order to know how to get to where you want to go. So what does current location mean if you've been sued by Portfolio Recovery, LVNV, Midland Credit, Midland Funding? Well, that means who sued you? How much did they sue you for? What court are you in? And have you been served? And if you have been served, when were you served? Because knowing all of this allows you to now say, okay, now I can start to figure out my options. Okay, and I'm going to talk to you in terms of an Alabama debt collection lawsuit. If you're in another state, obviously you have to translate this to your laws. But for Alabama, if you're sued in small claims court, you have 14 days to respond or to answer the lawsuit from the time that you were served. District court is the same thing, 14 days. Circuit court in Alabama is 30 days. So it makes a big difference to know, hey, I have not been served, or I was served 18 days ago. Well, if I was served 18 days ago, was I sued in small claims or district court or circuit court? Again, one, I better scramble right now. The other, I've got time. I can think. I can make decisions. I can analyze the situation. So step number 1 is understand your current location. Step number 2, this is probably the most important concept to understand because so many people miss this. So many lawyers miss this. We get calls, as you might imagine, from lawyers all the time saying, hey, my client's been sued by Midland Funding. You know, he really had this Synchrony bank account, this credit card, so I guess we lose, right? Like, wait a minute, we're missing something. Here's what we're missing. If I sued you for your mortgage payment and put you on the stand and said, now you have a house, you say yeah, and you have a mortgage payment or a rent payment, you say yeah. And I say, I need you to pay that to me. You'd say, well, yeah, I owe mortgage or rent, but I don't owe you. And I go, well, don't get bogged down in details. You owe somebody, you might as well pay me. No, that's not how it works. So the second step is to really understand this concept. There's a big difference between you owing $3,000 to Synchrony Bank and Midland Funding, Portfolio, Crown Asset, all these different companies. There's a difference between you owing the bank money and these companies owning the debt. They say they bought it. Okay? The key word is they say, they allege. Let me do this. I'm the president of the United States of America. See, I just made that claim. I just said it. And if I say it, it must be true, right? Well, it might be. I'm lying to you right now. Okay? So when LVNV, when Portfolio, when Midland, when all these guys come in, they go, well, we bought the debt. Did you really? Did you really, truly buy the debt? Do you truly own the debt? They go, well, of course we did. We said it. Remember, I'm the president of the United States of America. So, difference between you owing a debt and the debt buyer owning the debt. They have to prove that. That's something that they claim, they allege, they say. That's a big difference from actually proving it in court. So, know your current location. Understand this key concept The difference between owing a debt and this debt collector owning the debt. Well, what's step number 3? Step number 3 is to help you start to gather some evidence, start to gather some arguments here, and that is pull your credit reports. Go to annualcreditreport.com. As I'm recording this video, it's May 2021. You have through April of 2022 to once a week pull for free Equifax, Experian, TransUnion if you go to annualcreditreport.com. Pull your credit reports, save them or print them to PDF, and then look at them. What does LVNV say? It might be listed under Resurgent, but it will normally say LVNV, maybe care of Resurgent. What does Midland say? What does Portfolio Recovery say? These guys, Jefferson Capital, they sue you. What do they say on your credit report? Do they sue you for $3,000, but the credit report says you owe $2,400? There's a discrepancy there. Now, maybe they can explain it, and often they cannot explain it, okay? And that gives you some leverage over them. What if they say in the lawsuit you last made a payment on July 2017, but the credit report shows you last made a payment July 2014? Big difference, really big difference for statute of limitations, okay? So you pull your credit reports, you find the debt buyer. If you can find the original creditor, that's helpful, because sometimes this information does not match up. They'll say, here's when you made your last payment, but the debt buyer will say something else. So very, very helpful. Pull your credit reports. So know your current location. Understand the difference between owing a debt and owning a debt. Pull those credit reports. Step number 4 is understand your 5 options. And we have lots of videos on these. I'm just going to go through them real quick. Option number 1 is file bankruptcy. Very rare that that's appropriate. Occasionally it is. It's an extreme solution. Now, if you truly need it, it's extremely effective. But if you don't need it, it's like me saying, hey, my thumb hurts, and you chop off my arm. Well, my thumb doesn't hurt anymore, but that's a little excessive, okay? So bankruptcy. Step number 2 is you can fight this lawsuit on your own. You don't hire a lawyer. You don't have to pay a lawyer. Also means you don't have a lawyer helping you, okay? Now, sometimes that's a great decision. Sometimes it's a lousy decision. Sometimes it's the only decision you can make. But you have to look at that. So bankruptcy, fight the lawsuit on your own, settle the lawsuit on your own. Just keep in mind what happens with credit reporting and what about tax consequences. Step number 4, or option number 4, is you can hire a lawyer to fight the lawsuit. Now you got to pay money, okay? So you have to evaluate this. Am I likely to win? If I hire this lawyer to fight it, am I still going to be paying the debt buyer? Or does this lawyer say, we don't ever pay the debt buyers any money? What's the plan here? What's the strategy? And then the 5th option is to hire a lawyer to settle the case. Again, you're paying a lawyer money. Is a lawyer going to have you pay the debt buyer money? Well, how does that compare with doing it on your own? What about credit reporting? What about tax consequences? Okay, so again, we have videos that cover these in great detail. So figure out your current location, understand the difference between owing a debt and the debt buyer owning the debt. Get those credit reports from annualcreditreport.com. Understand your 5 options that we just went over. And step number 5 is take action. You must do something. You could watch all the videos in the world, read all the books in the world. You could be the most knowledgeable person in the world about defending debt buyer lawsuits. But if you don't do anything, what good is all that knowledge? Let's say, just for the sake of argument, that I know a little bit about defending people who are sued by debt buyers. And I get sued personally by a debt buyer. And I know exactly what to do. Matter of fact, I teach lawyers this around the country. I teach consumers this. I have tons of videos on this. I have articles. We teach sort of groups of judges about this sort of stuff. And I get sued and I know everything to do, but I don't do anything. Well, then all that knowledge is worthless. So figure out your current location. Know the difference between owing a debt, owning a debt. Pull those credit reports. Go through your 5 options that you have. But then do something. If that's to file bankruptcy, go get with a bankruptcy lawyer. File bankruptcy. If it's to fight it on your own, figure out how to file an answer, a response in court. Figure out what to do in court. We have all sorts of videos that can help you on this. If you decide to settle it on your own, do that. Again, we have videos on this. Hire a lawyer, talk to a lawyer, find a lawyer you feel confident with and comfortable with, and then pull the trigger on that. Hire the lawyer, make sure the lawyer files an answer, and just take action, because nothing happens until we actually do something. So, hey guys, appreciate you watching this video, and I will look forward to talking to you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.